You know, the worst part about this is the silence at the beginning. Welcome to another episode of Satisfying Static. The random word generator has been turned on. We're gonna see what we get hit with.
And
I read this wrong. I thought it said bulge, but it says budge.
I really wish it was bulge. Because that would have been a funnier episode. But okay, budge, I guess. That seems like a boring one, but let's go with you first, because your head always goes places where I'm like, what the
Budge is hard. I'm trying to think of something that I care about with budge, and I'm like, budget, budgeting. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you're really pushing. You're really pushing there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we
yeah,
just need a different one.
we need a different word. Oh,
'Cause-
storm.
Okay, that's a better one.
Storm is a better word.
Okay, the first thing I thought of was storm chasers.
Really, the first thing I thought of was the superhero Storm.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
X-Men
interesting.
Storm, played by
Yeah.
the
hmm
magnificent Drew Barrymore back in the Dizzle.
What? When did Drew Barrymore play Storm?
Oh, not Drew Barrymore. Oh my God. Halle Berry.
You just blew. I was my. Did you see my brain like doing
Yeah.
cartwheels trying to figure that one out? I was like, what?
Oh my God. So the reason I did that is because Straw Hat Goofy on TikTok, the guy that does all the movie reviews, he reviewed Firestarter today, and he was talking about Drew Barrymore because she played it as a child. And so my brain was like, Barry, Drew Barrymore. And whereas like it's Halle Berry, which is a totally different person.
Yeah. No, I saw the connect. I heard the connect after you said it, but I don't know why my brain wasn't just like, no, that information is incorrect, and instead was like, wait a minute, when did this happen?
I said it so matter of fact that it was hard to dispute. It was hard to argue. It's like,
What the hell?
I was like, no, yeah, it's Drew Barrymore.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, no.
Drew Barrymore
No.
has to be. No.
For those of you who don't know, Halle Berry is black. The superhero is notoriously black, and Drew Barrymore is objectively not black.
Not.
So
yeah. So that would have been an interesting but I wouldn't put it past the 90s. However,
yeah.
I don't recall that actually ever happening. But yes, no. Storm is a great superhero. That's a good one. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I guess we do end up talking about superheroes a lot. But yeah, no, I was thinking about storm chasers, because those people be crazy.
Storm chasers are crazy. It's like, I think watching that on television is the funniest thing, because they hype up this big storm, and I'm like, yeah, you know the storm's big, but like the suspension that they add onto somebody like staring at a computer monitor is like the way that they score it is like this big like donut like Jaws music behind it. Like this thing's about to wreck lives.
I mean, storms come in pretty slowly sometimes, right? So that's kind of hard to make that exciting. Be like, oh, you guys, the clouds, the cloud, they're coming. Come on,
look at them rolling in.
Yeah,
some of them come up and out of like nowhere, like the ones at night, like that really bad one in Kentucky that came out of kind of nowhere in the middle of the night, and so everybody was like that. People were trapped in a candle factory and all that shit.
I didn't hear about that, but
oh yeah, terrifying. So it came through. Oh boy. I might be, so two big tornadoes hit relatively close together, and I may be misremembering or mashing these two together. But there was one that came through Kentucky that like obliterated this part of Kentucky, and there was a candle factory involved, and a lot of people were trapped like in this candle factory and ended up dying. But it came in the middle of the night, so like you didn't see it in the sky. Like you heard these sounds in the middle of the night, and you're like, what are you talking about? For a tornado, it was weird.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's why storms scare me, to be honest. Tornadoes, thunderstorms are a little bit terrifying, hailstorms. So anybody who's like willingly going to get into a vehicle that could be easily tossed into the air by a tornado, and like try to chase this thing down, I'm like, man, you are an adrenaline junkie or you have a death wish. Like, I'm not sure, maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. I don't get it, not me.
So it was
love that for them.
Mayfield, Kentucky in December of 2021. And it was a candle factory. There was a candle factory involved. the other part of this
Don't
was
recall that.
well, so then like very soon after, there was one in Southern Illinois where was that the same tornado though? It might have been the same tornado because it was also in December, and it was an EF3 tornado that went through like Edwardsville and all this shit, and it killed a bunch of people in the Amazon factory. And they tried to leave, and they were threatened that they were going to be fired if they left when the tornado siren started going off.
Oh, I think I do remember that.
Yeah,
But
December 11th. Oh no, I think they're two. They're two separate tornadoes. They just happen very close together.
tornado season, apparently.
It's not usually December though. That's very bizarre.
Global warming? I don't know.
That's big facts. That's big facts. We had one big tornado when I lived back in the Midwest that like ripped through part of our city way before I was born. But my mom's got like a sweet VHS tape of like us getting home from being by the bike path and like or being by the river on the bike path. Of like us just like hauling ass to get inside. And I was like I was infantile, I was tiny. So I have no recollection, but
Oh, I don't think I was ever really scared of tornadoes in Chicago because like it was so rare within the city itself, although it has happened very close a couple times. I feel like they always hit Naperville, and then I was always like, nah, Naperville, who cares? And like moved on with my life. But I did feel my first earthquake here in California like a few months into living here, and that was terrifying because it wasn't something I am prepared for.
yeah, no thanks.
But I just thought like my neighbors were dropped something or like moving furniture, but it sounded like they were like bowling across the whole apartment. And it just you rolled through. Like I just heard it roll through from like the end to the front of my apartment, and it was over. But I was like, "Oh fuck, that was an earthquake." That was
Earthquakes are fucking terrifying. I remember being a kid, and did you guys have Channel One News? I think we've talked about this on here before, but it was like
maybe
Channel One News, where it was like anchored by a teenager, and like during your homeroom, you got to watch news, and it was like news about all over the world.
no.
No, okay. Well, Channel
That
One
sounds
News
interesting.
did a special on like earthquakes and earthquake readiness, and they showed like it was like old building standards, and it was like they'd put it through like a simulated earthquake and it would just like collapse like popsicle sticks. And then there were like new building standards, and they would like shake the table, and then these popsicle sticks would collapse eventually, but they held on a lot longer than the first ones.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is why building structure is important and why codes exist. And I was like, oh, yeah, San Francisco. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Yeah, we learned things like why the Sears Tower, Willis Tower, whatever the hell it's called now, tower has to move when the wind blows. Like those are the things we were taught in school is like building
I
structure
don't.
is like, oh, the skyscrapers have to sway so that they don't snap in half in case the winds get too strong.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just thought if
Yeah,
they. I just thought at that height, there's no way to stop them from swaying.
it's part of just surviving the winds. They have to sway.
That's terrifying.
So yeah, yeah,
Did you
super
ever did you ever
terrifying.
do the over the city in the glass thing? Or is it the Hancock building that's got it?
Yeah, no, I've never done the ledge. I think it's called the
Yeah,
ledge.
yeah.
No, I've never done that, and I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not scared of heights, but I don't love long lines and tourists, and so I think it's that part. But I should totally have just gone in the winter when there's like nobody there.
Yeah, thinking now that I moved so far away from Chicago, I'm like, oh, I probably should have done it once. But I remember when it was getting really popular, and then like the one broke, like right before the people,
Yeah.
so like they were on it, and it started to break as they got off of it, and I was like, no, no, man. So a couple of weekends ago, me and Olivia went to New York City.
Cool.
I could have missed it.
Really?
I could have never. The shows we saw were cool. We saw Into the Woods, which had Neil Patrick Harris and Sarah Bareilles in it, which was really
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
And then we saw Company, which had Patti LuPone in it, and someone who else whose name I'm forgetting. But those were great. But the city itself, I'm like, Chicago's cleaner.
I See, and everyone judges me because I've never been to New York and I have no desire to see New York at all because all anyone can ever tell me is that it's a dirtier Chicago and that there's trash in the streets and there's a lot of rats. Why would I want to go see that? Why do I care about that at all? Like, I'll get there eventually, but it is 100% not on my bucket list.
The subway system was really cool in that it was
It
useful and
works
it
well.
worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was gross and falling apart. And every
Cool.
single one of those subway stations needed to be condemned, except for the World Trade Center one, which is brand new because that thing
Right.
looks. I mean that one is like marble, like this like stark white. Everything's super clean. Like you look like you just woke
Right.
up in some weird dream. Like that's great. But all the other ones, no. I got like dripped on by mysterious substances. I got approached by strange men about weird things. I'm like, homie, I can't.
Yeah, sounds right. That sounds
I
right.
spent $18 on a cocktail that was, less than 4 inches tall and
Yeah,
had
that's
like
how
all this.
sounds right. I don't know.
It was, dude, and I felt bad because
We're
his
gonna.
family was like, "You don't like New York?" I was like, I I very quickly have discovered I do not like New York. No. I was like, and everybody just feels so cold. It's like
Yeah,
no
I heard
one
that.
looks at you and talks to you, and everybody I made a TikTok about it and everybody was like, "Oh my god, you were just at the touristy places." No, I was with two locals and we went to very much not touristy places and everyone was still
It's very
not
New York.
friendly.
Yeah, very New York.
Yeah. Everybody warned me about that with Boston, and Boston's been very warm. Everybody here is so nice.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of people who listen to this in the comments who are just like, "Oh, you Chicagoans" or whatever. And this is a
Oh,
very like
jeez.
Chicago versus New York conversation.
Ugh.
But like nobody has yet to be able to tell me one thing that New York has that Chicago doesn't: cleaner and less crowded.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, driving's about the same. I drove in, Midtown.
Yeah.
I drove in Manhattan, and it was like, oh, this is just like driving on North Shore Drive. The same shit. And I was like, all right, cool. And then everyone's like, well, the pizza, and I'm like, I had pizza. I'm not gonna lie, I don't care. It didn't like rock my world into next Sunday. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I could die have having this pizza. Like it was very much okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. I don't love Chicago pizza either. I'm like, I'm just not. Uh, I don't know. I don't think New York did anything wrong. They just didn't. They didn't impress me. They didn't. They didn't impress me. I was just like,
You're so funny. I don't think New York did anything wrong.
no. Well, every 5 minutes, I like looked over at Olivia and I was like, "Hey, we're never living here, right?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "Thank God."
Good. Yeah.
I'm like, people fight for their lives to live here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
People
cost
love
of
it.
living sucks, and I get it, but like, pick somewhere else.
I mean, people love it. It's definitely for some people, you know what I mean? And like, same thing about Chicago. Like, people love it. It's not like it's cheap to live there. It's definitely for some people. I feel the same way about LA, but I just really feel like if you have been around or grew up near one of the biggest cities in the United States, it's going to be really fucking hard to impress us. Like you are
Yeah.
gonna, the standard is really high. And if your only option is swapping out my city with another city, like what?
That's like so Boston. I'll give it to Boston. Isn't going to give me weather. That's fine, but it's smaller than Chicago and it's bigger than where I was, so it's a nice in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah. I love that.
L.A. at least has the weather going for it.
Yeah. But
What does New York have going for it? I mean, honestly, like I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to figure out why, like a quarter of the population has decided that New York is it. I'm just like,
I don't know. I mean, it is like a artist, talent, fashion mecca. So, like, if you want to be in publishing, or you want to be a model, or you want to be somebody, being in New York makes sense. But
I
like, I
guess
think that used to be true. I don't think that's very true anymore.
in the digital age, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think did you watch Inventing Anna by chance?
Yes, I did.
So I binged it like
Me too.
super quick. I loved the main actress because I loved her in Ozark. which just finished, and
Oh,
that was
okay,
incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, Ozark was really good. And her accent, the first few like episodes, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this.
I know.
This accent
I
is
know.
it, for those of you that don't know, Inventing Anna is a young woman who moves from Germany to the U.S. and she like lies about her entire heritage to like make up a new life for herself, and she's trying to dominate like the fashion industry, and like she's like a socialite and just like wants to make this space in New York on Park Avenue that's like a place for the best artists to like hang out and whatever.
Elites.
Yeah, the elites. Yeah, the elites. It's based on a true story, and it's a fascinating show. And the true story, she's actually out of jail now. She's out of prison.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
Interesting. I didn't realize that.
well, she was out of prison and immediately detained because they're trying to get her deported, and she's
Hmm.
currently fighting being deported back to Germany.
Okay.
But it's a roller coaster. And anyway, watching that, I was like, oh my god, this is based on real people
Yeah.
do these things and
Yeah.
live this way.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
at one point in the show, she's like doing shots with the dude that raised the money on all those HIV meds to like astronomical amounts. And
Oh yeah, yeah. And then in another scene, she's like living in the same loft as the guy who like did the fire festival.
right, yeah, that was so funny. He's like hyping this fire festival up behind it, like in the scenes behind her, and she's like, "Fire with a Y? Do you really think that's a good idea?" And he's like, "No, fire with a Y. Yeah. And it's like, what? It was a hilarious little kernel. But I looked that up. It's true. They were in the same social circles. She did
Yeah.
hang out with the dude that tripled all the HIV meds, and he got Drake's album before it came out, or Lil Wayne's album before it came out. And
It
was it Lil
it
Wayne?
was NWA, I think. Or
Oh, it
wasn't
was
it?
NWA.
Or no, Wu
I thought it
Tang.
was
Was it a Wu Tang album? Yeah, it was a
no. He
him.
disrespected Wu-Tang Clan.
I thought it was a like a rare Wu Tang. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's
It
trash.
was some
He's
album
not
that he
worth
wasn't
talking
supposed to
about.
have that he got early, and he just like threw it on speaker on like a dinner table, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, he's definitely not worth talking about. He's not a worthy human. But anyway,
No, but anyway, watching that, I was very much like, oh, I cannot believe that real people live this way.
yeah, I know.
That one guy's whole job was to like style this one woman, and he was like a live-in stylist for this woman who had nothing else to spend her money on. And
Yeah,
I'm like, oh boy.
I know.
Oh
The
boy.
things we'll never understand, the amount of money that people have to spend on just like absolute BS is ridiculous.
Yeah, she buys him those dress shirts that like totals like 6,000 or whatever, and then she's like, "Oh, but wait, I'm gonna go get more." And I'm like, "What? What?" We went to Plato's Closet today to sell. We clean out. I made me and Olivia clean out our closets,
Hmm.
and we took some of it to Plato's Closet, and we were shopping around Plato's Closet, and I almost bought a $6 shirt, and I didn't because I felt guilty about spending $6 on a shirt.
I know.
Six.
I know. I hear you. I saw this TikTok where somebody was like, did anybody else grow up poor? And now you're debating with yourself about buying an umbrella. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
fuck yeah, all the time. Like, do I need it? I'm going to lose it. I only need it this one time. And it is like $14. I don't know.
But then when our impulse control like really isn't working, you're like, forget it. I need it now. I'll just buy
Totally.
it now.
Yeah.
Like a sunset lamp.
Hey, I did need the sunset lamp, okay?
Whatever.
It's a serotonin booster, dopamine booster. I don't know, one of the two. The happy chemical.
Oh my god.
And
My paint tent thing worked really well.
I know you said that.
Did I already tell you that?
Yeah,
Oh,
I know
man.
you were really excited about it.
I was
But
really excited
I'm
about it.
glad. I'm glad. For those of us who don't know, can you fill us in on your little sanding tent?
Yeah, so I was gonna build a sanding tent out of PVC pipe and like some plastic, and I went to Lowe's and priced it out, and it was gonna be just as much for me just to buy one. So I bought one, and it's huge, and it's a
Perfect.
disaster to put together, but it works out super well. It's got some ventilation in it. So I can sand my 6 foot tall rocket ship indoors, which is very exciting.
Oh my God, the hobbies we pick up. Did you ever finish painting? Was it steps for Willow?
The stairs.
Yeah.
So when I first got on TikTok, I made these stairs. I like wood burned a Blackhawks hockey logo into
Mm-hmm.
these stairs, and I started painting them. And I did it on a bunch of lives. No, I have not finished them. Here we are 2 years later. Willow does not use the stairs,
I knew it.
and they become a step stool that we were using for a little while, but it's very impractical because they don't fold up and they're big and they don't
Right.
have wheels. So like you have to pick it up and physically move it to
Right.
places. But my brother built me these stairs, and I would grain them, or I would stain them. Oh my god, I would burn them,
Mm-hmm.
and I've painted them. So now I just like simply refuse to get rid of them. I don't know what I'm gonna do with those things. I don't know.
They're a
They're
plant
in the
stand.
spare room. They might be. They might be a plant stand. That might be the move. Oh boy.
Yeah, how fun. Yeah, I just bought a bunch of molds to make resin stuff because obviously, why not? What other? I mean, my apartment is literally littered with half-finished hobbies.
Well, it's like I
There's a guitar sitting
started.
next to me that I literally can wipe a layer of dust off of.
Oh, gross.
Hmm. I know.
I started drawing those student loan inspired designs or whatever. I'm still working on the first one. I work on it for like an hour a day. The video has become irrelevant now. I didn't strike while the iron was hot.
Why didn't you just make them like quick and dirty sketches? Or why are you putting so much effort into them?
Because I'm a weird perfectionist. I don't know. And like
Okay, what was the first one?
the first one that I've done now, I call it the Lone Throne, and it's somebody made a comment that said, "I bet you lived like a king in school, and
The Lone Throne. That's
that's
so
why you're
funny.
broke, or that's why you have so much debt." And so I drew like a very plain royal like throne. It
Mhm.
says Lone Throne on it. It's got like a recycling container next to it from all the cans and receipts that I recycled to save money when I was in college. I'm working on putting a little cup of noodles on the armrest, a little
Okay,
cup of
I
noodles,
like
and
that.
then there's like a stack of books next to it with like a rug underneath it, and the stack of books is like overpriced, useless, never touched or something like that. Like on the books,
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't look great.
Well, you know you're not an artist. That was the whole point of this, I thought.
I'm not. No, it is. That's why it was supposed to be funny, and you know, I'm not. I'm not an artist, and I don't. Maybe I'm just like developing a complex about it. I don't know. But I can't. I can't seem to get it finished. And like, I literally worked on it for like 8.5 hours the other day, and
Oh
it
my God.
looks.
Why?
It's
I'm
like
sure it's amazing. Okay. That is not what I envisioned when you told me you were going to do this. Like, I was imagining like Pictionary style, like all black, just sketches. So, for those of us that are not watching this, this is a full color,
yeah, it's a
like
full colored. It's a full colored.
full
Yeah, it
color
says
piece of
Lone
artwork.
Throne.
There's a little recycling sign. It looks like the throne has some texture at your whole
Just a little
you are
bit.
graphic designing. There's a rug. Wow. No, I was expecting fully like Pictionary, just like all black. You sketch something together. That's why when you said 8 hours, I was like, doing what exactly?
Like stick figures.
Yeah, kind of. Because I
I'm
thought it
can
would be funnier than you attempting to like actually design like designs, you know.
I could see why that's funnier. I could see why a stick figure in a throne with a little crown on that's and a sketch that says this is funding a college student with an art
Yeah,
degree or something would be
right. And
funny.
like, because
That is
you were
funny.
gonna try to sell them, so I thought that would be like a funnier than like you attempting to like actually make something that's like sell worthy.
I thought this was funny because it's also still bad, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, but it looks like you tried, and
I did
I feel
try. I
like
did try.
people are gonna, you know, be like, "Oh, she tried." Whereas, like, if it was stick figures, they'd be like, "Oh, haha, that's hilarious," because you're just slapping these together.
Because I'm just slapping them together. Maybe I'll do a little bit of both. Maybe I'll throw some stick figure. That would that would be a lot easier, truthfully, than trying to make it look so good
That's
that
that's
it's
what I thought the plan was. Anyway, I would
that was the original plan. God, man, jeez, oh boy.
okay. I would love input from the listeners as to what you should do with this plan. Even though this video is irrelevant now, and who knows if we're even going to get there, but I would love to
I don't know if
see.
we're ever gonna get there, but I think it would be funny because yeah, it's all these misnomers about oh, you should have been in the military. That would have paid for your school. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you can't take any of that personally, you know, it's the internet. Like people just go to the comments to complain. 90% of the time they don't even expect you to read them.
I think that's what the funniest part about this has been. So like I just posted a video not too long ago about like 4 days ago, went like uber viral about the emergency department does not mean fast.
Oh yeah, I saw that
and
one.
and people in the comments were like, well, here's where they messed it up. And I was like, I literally said in the video, don't yeet yourself into my comments and tell me about how it got messed up. I don't particularly care.
Yeah,
I know it happens.
they're just looking to vent. It has nothing to do with you. You just happen to be the video they landed on.
Oh God, it's like so frustrating. And I read all of them. I've read every single comment
I know
anybody has ever posted in the ethos of my 555,000 followers. I've read them.
I know. But yeah, and so a lot of those are not even your followers. They're just people who came across you on their For You page and left a comment and will never see you again.
Until I make a video about their comment.
Yeah, there you go.
That did happen. Yeah, somebody was like, well, maybe if nurses didn't stand around and talk. And I was like, oh, sweet child. No, that's not the answer. That's not the answer.
Sometimes it's really hard not to just like ignore people, you know? So obviously I've done that, but it's the internet. It's just, you really got to. You got to ignore them. Not that we don't try to respond to everybody and get to all the lovely people that leave us comments, but if you're just there to vent because you need to let that go, that's not my responsibility to take on. So
that's true. I will say for every one negative comment I have like 3 positive comments. But do I remember the 3 positive comments? No, I remember the one bad one.
I know, and that's like just a retraining of your brain. It's like really, really hard not to do that, but just gotta retrain your brain to ignore those people. Because the 3 positive comments, those are your followers. Those are the people that actually like pay attention and give a shit and listen to this podcast. Thank you. And you know, like
yeah. Hey, thanks. Listen to the podcast. We appreciate it.
And like keep coming back to videos and stuff. And like the one nasty comment is whatever. But I know it's hard to ignore that, but it's just part of being on the interwebs. I'm so excited for Pride Month and all of the fun comments that's gonna bring.
Yeah, you mean when our country's been the most divisive it's ever been? Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm jacked. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, so with that, a reminder, people on the internet are sometimes shitty. Ignore them.
Yeah. Yeah, June's going to be rough because I think the end of June is when they are supposed to be making their official Roe v. Wade decision. Oh, God. Aside from the one that has already been leaked.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes on top of all the gay things.
Man, this has been a very depressing episode. And on that note,
it started with a storm.
Cute.
We set ourselves up for it. Starting with a storm.
I guess that's true. I think, I don't know. I'm very low energy today. Maybe that's also adding to it.
I am as well. All right.
Happy Sunday. Well,
it'll be Tuesday when they hear this.
Well, it's Sunday for us.
It's Sunday for us, but Tuesday for you.
So, and you don't know that. Maybe they're listening on a Sunday. Happy
maybe they
whatever
are
day it is for you today.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, this was lovely. We're gonna cap it there.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.